Even with all the new AI image generating tools out there popping up pretty much every week, Midjourney still stands out for one simple reason, because nothing really matches its depth and aesthetic quality of its images. And with the latest updates, bringing even more personalization and now video generation, for example, it's become an incredible creative playground, as well as it has a lot of potential to monetize your creations. So in this video, I'll show you some of my favorite features. And since I've personally generated over $10,000 worth of Midjourney images on Etsy, I'll also share 14 practical ways you can start monetizing your Midjourney creations. If you're new to this channel, hi, I'm Elena, and here we explore how to use AI and automation to build authentic one-person businesses. So if you're a solopreneur, creator, online business owner, make sure to subscribe to this channel and check out our school community in the description below. Let's jump right in. Okay, so the first thing you will need to do is to come to midjourney.com and sign up for an account if you don't have an account already, or log in if you have an account. When it comes to pricing, it's a paid tool. They do not offer any free subscription. And the pricing plans look like this. It can start at the basic plan. It has some limited amount of images that you can generate. Then you have a standard plan. This is the one that I'm using. It's $30 and it has unlimited images. All of the paid plans, which is important to note, have general commercial terms, meaning that you are allowed to use images commercially in any way you want. Not the images that someone else generated and then you use them commercially. That is not allowed, but images that you generate, you can use them commercially. And the only note here is that if your company is making more than $1 million in gross revenue per year, then you have to upgrade to Pro or Mega Plan to kind of retain this commercial rights. And the last thing I want to mention here is stealth mode. So everything that you generate in Midjourney, if you're on basic or standard plan, it's visible in Midjourney to other users. The only way to make it not visible to anyone is to upgrade to Pro plan and Mega plan. So we start at the Explore tab, and here you can just choose if you want to explore images, videos. Here on the right hand you can choose, or styles. So we'll start with images. So if you're like me, sometimes you're coming to Midjourney and you're like, you just want to get inspiration. This is a great way to get inspiration. I love just seeing other creations, different aesthetics, like get inspired, get new ideas. So I spent quite a lot of time here. I'm going to show you a couple of ways of how you can generate images, because there's different angles that we can approach it from. So now we're in Create tab, and here's where we can actually create our images. So the most basic one is to actually describe what you want to imagine. So for example, let's take like a vase with the autumn flowers, and we write here a vase with autumn flowers. And we just can choose here in the settings, we can choose what kind of image size we want to have. Do you want to have square, portrait, landscape? So let's say we want to have portrait. We can play around with different modes. We can have raw or standard. Raw is giving you a more photorealistic output, and then we can pick the version and we can play around with aesthetics. But for now, we're not going to do this. We're just going to send it. We get quite beautiful images, and let's say where we can go from here is we go back to Explore and we go to Styles. And what we can do here is that when we want to imagine the same image in different styles, like for example, this one is quite interesting, this one is pretty beautiful. So let's try this. So what we need to do is that we press Try Style, or we just press here on SREF, and we go back here. So it added SREF to our prompt window. And what we need to do now is just we copy our prompt again, and then we just press on the resolution. So it's going to be portrait and then version 7. So we add this and then we run again. Same prompt, but now we're adding the reference of a certain style that we found inspiring. It entirely changes the aesthetic. So now it is much more in this, the style that we've chosen is this one, right? It's like kind of like photorealistic, Polaroid-ish, or like old picture style. And we can play around with other things. So let's say we want to try this style, and then it runs with the new sref. So here we have a totally different, like same prompt, but very different. So this is one of my favorite ways of using this to get inspiration, what kind of style is calling your name, and then you can play around with it. So another way you can also create images is, let's say you found something here that you really like. So one of the images, you really like the style and you want to click on it. And here you can see the prompt that has been used. So what you can do is that you can copy this prompt and then you can rerun it. And it will be different. It's not going to be the same result. It will kind of reimagine this following the same prompt. But what you can also do is that you can press on this little magnifying glass here, which says search image. And here it will give you similar images to this one. So for example, if you're looking after a certain thing, right? If you want to see how you can visualize something like a fruit, for whatever reason you need that. Let's say you have a smoothie brand and you want to refresh your images on your homepage or something. This is how you can do it. So there's a couple of things we can do more, right? So if we go into the image, we can edit it in different way, right? So we can ask it to create variety that is like subtle or strong, and it will create more images. We can ask it to upscale. That will also kind of add variation. We can just rerun if we didn't like the prompt, if we didn't like what came out. What I want to show you is personalization. One of the most amazing ways to create aesthetics that is really uniquely yours is to create your personalization profile. So I have done this for the previous version, for example, for V6 version of Midjourney. The way it works is that you need to rank images that you like, and the algorithm saves them and understands that this is the type of aesthetics you like. So how it would look like is, for example, you have two options. You can press which ones you like, or if you don't like, you just skip them, right? So if there's no style of the images you like, you just skip, skip, skip. So for example, I would like this one. I don't like any of those. So let's say you're using this for different purposes, right? You can create different types of profiles with different types of aesthetics. So for example, if you have one that is purely minimalistic, you just focus on choosing the images that you like within that style. And then if you want to have more feminine or more nature inspired, more realistic, you can create a separate profile and save images that you like. And then basically when you create new images, right? So when you start here, you can then be able to choose your personalization profile and it will create images in that style. Okay, so now it's created 4 different types of videos, and we can see that majority of them are kind of just rotating. One is actually captured the wind here. It takes playing around with it, but you definitely can get good short videos like based on your images, and you can always get inspiration from the images here. You can choose top day or top week, right? And just get inspired and see what you like, and then kind of understand how they prompted this for this video, and then reuse this instructions. So I walked through my favorite features. You already see that you can create incredible variety of different images. There's like endless inspiration to what you can create. You can choose your aesthetic. You can create your own aesthetics to create images and that. And so now let's move on to how can you monetize that. When Midjourney came out, I started using it very, very like early on. And I've actually have created an Etsy shop and I started selling the art that I have created. So I have experience in creating a wall art brand of a certain aesthetics in combination of Scandinavian and Japanese style. So I started selling them on Etsy and it has generated over $10,000. So what I want to share is some examples of how you can monetize that. If you are this kind of person that just feels drawn to creating images, but you don't know what to do with them, right? You just create, create, create. You have an opportunity to turn that into monetization, into income stream. If you want to look in more details, you can download this Google Doc in the description below entirely for free, and then you can explore more. So number one way of monetizing that is print on demand wall art and posters. So you start with creating an image that you really like. You do research on different types of aesthetics you like, and you do research on what is selling well on Etsy. Yes, that is still the important part, to do this research, to understand how people describe and what they're looking for. So I would highly recommend doing this just to get an idea, right? So I truly believe that you create what you want to create. I do believe that there is audience for different types of art, but I also believe that analytics and data are important. Like it's like a glue that keeps it all together. So that you want to create the art that people want to buy, and which means that you will get paid. So the difference between digital wall art and print on demand wall art is basically when you go to Etsy and you created your image, you upload it as a file. So basically when people will purchase it, Etsy will automatically send this image to them. In case of print on demand, it's pretty much the same idea, but what you need to do is you need to connect to a print on demand provider in the background. So like Printify, Printful, Gelato, there are many of them. And you connect your Etsy shop or your Shopify shop to that. And once someone purchases, they purchasing it as a physical print. If we go to Printify's catalog and we just choose wall art, so we can see there is a tons of different, there's posters, there's canvases. So let's go into posters. So here is all the types of different poster sizes that you can create, right? It could be, you can basically sell it as a physical wall art or as a digital wall art. So those are the first two ways. And yes, if you're thinking it's so oversaturated now, especially with AI allowed on Etsy, I'm going to tell you this, and I think this applies to pretty much everything in life and in business. Everything is oversaturated. Like we can assume that every idea has been thought of, that every type of thing has been created. Like let's just assume that. What is oversaturated, in my experience, again, I started my wall art shop in the moment when everyone said it was oversaturated. No one recommended to go there, but I really wanted to create that. And what is oversaturated is this meaningless generic AI slop that looks like shit and that just doesn't bring any aesthetic value. But what still sells, and what will, I believe, become more and more, like it will never really be oversaturated, is this combination of taste, curation, aesthetics that is specifically targeted to a certain type of group or people or hobby or lifestyle or design preferences. So you really need to be kind of smart in terms of understanding who is your intended audience, who are the people that will be buying this wall art, and then think from their perspective, like what are they looking for and things like that. So no, it's not oversaturated for creators who want to create high quality, who want to add some unique things to it. So let's go to number 3 is branded social media templates and backgrounds. So I think Midjourney is incredible in creating backgrounds, and backgrounds could be used for so many different things. There is still a lot of demand, I think, for very unique things. So if, for example, if brands or creators looking for very specific aesthetics, they won't find it on Canva and like similar platforms. So sometimes they would want to create something like that is specifically for them. Let's say like nature background. And we can, like, let's say we like this image. So we can copy this prompt. We want to take another, we want to do it landscape. So for example, if it could be used for some web page or something, and we want to use version 7, and wait, we use ratio. And we also want to explore some styles. So let's say we really like this style. So we just add this sref here, and then we create the image. Okay, So here we got very different versions. I noticed that this prompt had prompted for open space text in the middle. So if we want to remove it, we just do like this and we create. You can definitely sell it on Etsy. You can sell it in your own stand store, Creative Market. There's multiple platforms for that. Again, you can ask ChatGPT to suggest other ways if you want to choose this. Like, so use your ChatGPT as a brainstorming partner. Number 4 is social media content and video loops. You can use it either for your own channel. So if you're an entrepreneur, you have a small brand, you can create things for your own. Again, here it's not really after this, let's go viral with the kitten eating an apple kind of thing. VO3 would do it better. But if your brand values aesthetics, like, so let's say you're in a holistic wellness space or something. So you might do quite a lot of meditations or affirmations and things like that. You can create beautiful visuals and video loops from the images that you've created. Let's say we want to take this image and like we just add low motion to this, and then let's see what happens. Okay, so here we can see that we have quite a perfect image for a short. We just need to resize it into portrait mode, right? But you can have some beautiful affirmations. So target brands within the space of the niche that you already know. For example, if it's holistic health or mindfulness space, and then you can create a couple of bundles of videos that you can animate them here. You can animate it in Canva and Runway and other tools as well. The next one is printable stationery and journals. You can create images in Midjourney, then you later place on journals, and you can sell that through print on demand. You can sell it on Etsy, you can sell it on your own shop. You can even create an Amazon KDP journal. So another potential way to monetize is building kind of a smaller merch or mini brand collections. So if you already have a brand, or if you're helping, like you're consulting a brand, or if you want to start a brand, you can create like this mini drop of 5-8 different core products, right? On a certain topic with a certain aesthetics. It could be like a mug, it could be a blanket, it could be a poster. So it's a combination, but something that ties it all together. And you can again sell it with the help of print on demand provider, but you can sell it on Etsy, on your own Shopify store, on TikTok, Instagram. Like you can just create something of your own that is the physical reflection of your brand, let's say. Number 7 is B-roll and loop backgrounds packs for creators. You can create visuals for different topics. Let's say you already provide some sort of services to a brand or to a creator. Understanding their aesthetics, you can say, I can create like a B-roll pack for you with these types of videos. And you can do that. So it's quite an easy upsell if you're already in the space. You can also sell it independently on Etsy or Gumroad. You can also have a subscription model around it. So there's different ways to monetize this. Mood boards as a service, I think is quite cool. So mood boards is actually a really cool function that I haven't covered. I'm going to take this opportunity to do it within this idea. So providing mood boards as a service. So let's say we have a brand that has a strong aesthetics, right? Or we have a brand that wants to have a strong aesthetics. What you can do in Midjourney is you can create a mood board. So you go to mood boards and then you can create a new mood board. And here you can basically add images. So let's say we pick like a couple of these images like this, that we like this. So we have these images. So what we can do from here, we can use it in a prompt. So let's say together with this brand, you put together images, or they provide images that they like. So you can upload or add from links here. So you create this mood board. And then what you can do is you can use all of it in the prompt. So mood board is basically just saying that, okay, this is the types of aesthetics we want for this project or for this brand, and then you use to create new images in this. So now we can test it, and let's say create like image of a cat, and ideally now it would come back in a aesthetics of these 3 images. So let's check it out and see. So we have a couple of images. I think it captured the aesthetics quite well. And from here, of course, we can iterate and play around with it in multiple different ways. But this is how the mood board can work. So you can basically, you can talk to a brand. You can say each month we create your mood board for this season, for quarter 4 or something, with your products, with the things that inspired you. And then we will create imagery, we create videos, we create background drops, we create those things for you for this month. And you get, let's say, 100 items. So it's a very personalized stock images, stock imaging solution, I would say. That could be very interesting. And you can offer this on Fiverr, on Upwork as well. You can DM creators directly. So you can create some samples to have a portfolio to see how it can look like. But I think this is an extremely valuable monetization potential. So provide this as a service. YouTube thumbnail design, I think for many brands and creators that value aesthetics, you can really use Midjourney images as the core of the thumbnail, right? And I see that actually more and more on my YouTube feed. I see this much more aesthetics YouTube thumbnails, and I'm very happy to see that. Number 10 is very niche in a sense, but if you're within interior design, visual, like conceptualizing, giving inspiration together with designers, I think this could be interesting. So you can reach out to those people, and you can basically, you have an empty room or apartment, let's sit together, let's create a mood board together, and then let us visualize that, like what kind of styles it could have, what kind of decor palettes it could have. I think this in combination with using Nano Banana or even ChatGPT image, where you could take, for example, furniture, right, and place it in a room that you have created. So that could be super, super powerful. You can offer that as a service. Editorial stock image subscription brand. This is what I went into. Actually, I merged those together with the mood boards, but it's the same. So it's offering a stock imagery that for brands and creators who don't like generic stock images, who are tired of them and who want to stand out. So you can create a very personalized stock for them, and you can charge subscription, like a monthly subscription, for example, 50 images in one visual style, and go from there. What you can also do is this, I put those in the end because assuming that you're already really keen on knowing as much as you can about Midjourney, that you're really gonna commit to becoming really good at it. Let's say you've created some very unique style. You can sell those prompts and assets bundles. So you can sell the images and the prompts that you've created to them. There is a market for that. There is a market on Gumroad. You can sell it on your own website. So if you're already in AI space, this is a really interesting product that you can sell. And again, the more skilled you become, you can offer paid tutorials or workshops on this. You can grow your audience on YouTube. You can create a membership, for example, a school community, a Patreon, a circle. We started from this most simple one, and then we ended up with the ones that when you become so skilled at it, that you can actually share your skills with someone that you can monetize as well. And this is what I love. Like, this potential is what I love with this whole creator economy, online income streams. If you love doing something, there's so many ways you can monetize this. And this is what I wanted to show in this video. I wanted to share some inspiration and some real ways that I've monetized, that other people are monetizing the images. I love the fact that I can go here and get inspiration and monetize this in a ways that feel relevant and authentic to me. So I highly recommend checking it out and learning more. I will include some of the links to the creators that I've learned a lot from. If you want to go deeper in Midjourney, I highly recommend check it out. I'll include everything in the description below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, let me know in the comments what are you going to try out. If you have any other tips for Midjourney, it will be really appreciated by me and by our community. And if you want to join a space where people like us come together, they're building different income streams, using AI tools, and just navigating this space and learning together, make sure to check out my school community link in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video.